Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are going to start by Chapter 1, Introduction to Cells, Lesson 1, Discovering Cells. What are cells? Of course, you know that all organisms are made of cells. Cells form the parts of an organism and carry out all of its function. Cells are the basic units of structure and function in living things. When you describe the structure of an object, you describe what it's made of and how its parts are put together. For example, the structure of a building depends on the way bricks or other materials are arranged. The structure of a living thing is determined by the amazing variety of ways its cells are put together. What about cells and function? An organism's functions are the process that enable it to live, grow, and reproduce. Those functions include obtaining oxygen, food, and water, and getting rid of wastes. Cells are involved in all these functions. For example, cells in your digestive system absorb food. The food provides your body with energy and materials needed for growth. Another example, cells in your lungs help you get oxygen. Your body cells work together, keeping you alive. And for each cell to stay alive, it must carry out many of the same functions as the entire organism. Let us talk now about the cell theory. What is the cell theory? Until the 1600s, no one knew cells existed because there was no way to see them. But the invention of the first microscope allowed people to look at very small objects. A microscope is an instrument that makes small objects look larger. Over the next 200 years, this new technology revealed cells and led to the development of the cell theory. The cell theory is a widely accepted explanation of the relationship between cells and living things. Many scientists contribute in the cell theory. English scientist Robert Hooke built his own microscope and made drawings of what he saw when he looked at the dead bark of certain oak trees. A few years later, Anton van Leeuwenhoek was the first to see living cells through his microscope. So, what does the cell theory say? The cell theory states the following. Number 1, all living things are composed of cells. Number 2, cells are the basic units of structure and function in living things. Number 3, all cells are produced from other cells. You know that living things differ greatly from one another, but all are made of cells. The cell theory holds true for all living things, no matter how big or how small. Because cells are common to all living things, cells can provide clues about the functions and that living things perform. And because all cells come from other cells, scientists can study cells to learn about growth and reproduction. Let us talk now about microscopes. How do microscopes work? The cell theory couldn't have been developed without microscopes, of course. Some microscopes focus light through lenses to produce a magnified image, and other microscopes use beams of electrons. Both light microscopes and electron microscopes do the same job in different ways. For a microscope to be useful, it must combine two important properties: magnification and resolution. Let us talk about magnification and lenses first. Have you ever looked at something through spilled drops of water? If so, did the object appear larger? Magnification is the condition of things appearing larger than they are. Looking through a magnifying glass has the same result. A magnifying glass consists of convex lens, which has a center that is thicker than its edge, as you can see in front of you. When light passes through a convex lens and into your eye, the image you see is magnified. Magnification changes how you can see objects and reveals details you may not have known were there. As we said before, for a microscope to be useful, it must combine two important properties, magnification and resolution. We already talked about magnification. Let us talk about resolution now. What do we mean by resolution? Resolution is the degree to which two separate structures that are close together can be distinguished. Okay? And to create useful image, a microscope must help you see the details of the object's structure clearly. In general, for light microscopes, resolution improves as magnification increases. Good resolution makes it easier to study cells. Let us now talk about the compound microscope. As you can see in front of you, this is a compound microscope. It magnifies the image using two lenses at once. One lens is fixed in the eyepiece. A second lens is chosen from a group of 2 or 3 lenses on the revolving nosepiece. Each of these lenses has a different magnifying power. By turning the nosepiece, you can select the lens you want. A glass slide on the stage holds the object to be viewed. A compound microscope can magnify an object more than a single lens can. Light from a lamp passes through the object on the slide, the lower lens, and then the lens in the eyepiece. The total magnification of the object equals the magnification of the two lenses multiplied together. Another type of microscopes are electron microscopes. The microscopes used by Hawk, Leeuwenhoek, and other early researchers were all light microscopes. Scientists have developed several types of electron microscopes. Electron microscopes use a beam of electrons instead of light to produce a magnified image. What do we mean by electrons? Electrons are tiny particles that are smaller than atoms. By using electron microscopes, scientists can obtain pictures of objects that are too small to be seen with light microscopes. Electron microscopes allow higher magnification and better resolution than light microscopes. Now you know what are cells and what is the cell theory and how do microscopes work. I hope that you understand the lesson and see you soon inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.